Hi everyone, I hope you're okay, and I hope that the videos we keep uploading are helping you out. On this video, guys, I'll be tackling the first question from the November 2024 Mathematics Paper 1 examination. Please do expect a total number of 12 videos, since the question paper is 12 questions in total. And that simply means each and every question will have its own video. And please, guys, do take this seriously. I strongly believe that knowing how to tackle exam questions will give you an edge whenever you write your final examination. So please do share the video to your peers so that they may have the same edge as you. And please, guys, do help us grow the channel by just subscribing. Okay, question 1.1. I'm supposed to solve x. For the first question, guys, I'm already given two things that are multiplied and I have 0 on the right hand side. I'm just going to use the rule that simply says if I'm multiplying two things and the answer is equal to 0, this simply means the first one can be 0 or the second one can be 0. That's what I'll do over here. I'll therefore say either x is equal to 0 or x minus 3 is equal to 0. Over here, guys, as x is already isolated. Remember that whenever you are asked to solve for x, they are just telling you that isolate x. Then I just need to isolate x on the other side. I'll just take the negative 3 to the right hand side. I'll end up having x is equal to a positive 3. So these are my two solutions now. X is equal to 0 or x is equal to a positive 3. Second question, I'm given a quadratic equation which is not in standard form, and I'm told to correct my solution to 2 decimal places. Once I see that statement, guys, I already know that I don't have to worry about factorizing, finding the factors, because my roots will be irrational. All I need to do is to simply use my quadratic equation. Are you together? But before I do that, I must make sure that the equation that I have is in standard form. What does standard form means? It simply means everything should be on the left hand side and 0 should be on the right hand side. So I'll simply have 2x squared minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. When I take the positive 4x to the other side, it will change its sign. Yeah? Okay. The quadratic equation, guys, simply says x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So I basically need to find the values of a, b, and c. A is the coefficient of x squared, which is equal to 2. B is the coefficient of x, that's negative 4. And then c is our constant term, which is just equal to 1. So for me to find the roots, I just need to say x is equal to minus a negative 4 plus or minus negative 4 squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. And I'll simply get an answer of 4 plus or minus the square root of, inside the square root I have 16 minus 8, which is equal to 8. That's just 2 root 2 all over. Remember that, guys, the value of a is equal to 2, right? This entire thing is divided by 4. So therefore, x is equal to 2 plus root 2 all over 2, or x is just equal to 2 minus root 2 all over 2, guys. Please do punch these on your calculator and make sure that you round off your answers into 2 decimal places. Now, I just cannot do it right now because I don't have my calculator with me. Okay, and then on the following question, guys, you're supposed to solve an inequality. Whenever you solve an inequality, guys, please treat it as if you're solving an equation. The only difference will be on how you express your final solution. Are you together? There are steps, guys, in solving quadratic equations. I must make sure that everything should be in standard form. I already have everything in standard form. Secondly, the value of a should be positive. If possible, I should make it to be equal to 1. Over here, the value of a is positive and it is equal to 1. So it's easy for me to then move on and factorize. Now, remember, I'm given x squared minus 2x minus 3 is greater than 0. Whenever I factorize, I'm just looking for the factors of 3. That's when I subtract will simply give me 2. And those factors are 3 and 1. Since the sign there is negative, this simply means the brackets should have different signs. Are you together? And the bigger factor should always take the sign of the middle term. 3 is bigger than 1, so the sign of the middle term will be over there, and I'll have a plus there. Né? And therefore, after factorizing, guys, I must just write down my critical values. You may ask yourself, what are critical values? Critical values are the values of x. That's when you substitute in this expression, you will simply get an answer that is equal to 0. So when x is equal to a positive 3, I know that I'll get a 0. And another one is when x is equal to a negative 1. And then all I need to do, guys, is to just express my critical values on the number line. I'll have negative 1 and 3. Since there's no equal sign over there, that simply means the critical values should not be included in my final solution. Okay, now guys, let's insert the signs on top of the number line. If the coefficient of x inside the brackets, if these two coefficients have the same sign, if they have the same sign, they can be both positive or both negative. If they have the same sign, you'll just write a plus over there. Are you together? But if they had different signs, you were going to write a minus over there. Are you together? But now they just have the same signs. I'm just going to write a plus. After finding the sign over here, guys, it's quite easy to find the other signs over there. Why? Because the minute I jump a critical value, the sign needs to change. Are you together? Over here, I'll simply have minus and I'll have a plus as well. I'm looking for the values of x that will give me a solution which is greater than 0. Greater than 0 simply means positive. Where do I see a positive on my number line? When x is less than a negative 1 or when x is greater than 3. But there are those guys who like expressing their solution by using interval notation. Okay, if you write your answer like this, guys, believe me, you're 100% correct. And I prefer this way because it's very, very straightforward and simple. But for those who prefer expressing their solutions in interval notation, the answer would have been x is an element of negative infinity to negative 1 or from 3 to positive infinity. That's how, guys, you're just supposed to express your solutions. Né? So x is less than negative 1 or x is greater than 3. Or you can write it like that. There's nothing wrong. Okay. And then now, guys, for the fourth one, we are given an exponential equation. I'm supposed to solve x and x is at the unknown. The first thing I need to do, guys, considering the fact that my exponents are separated by pluses and minuses, the first thing I need to do is to simply separate the exponents. That's the first thing I need to do. Né? Okay, I'll simply have, excuse me about that. I'll simply have 2 to the power 2x minus 2 to the x times 2 squared minus 32 is equal to 0. How did I separate these exponents? Remember that, guys, there's a rule in exponents that simply says if you're multiplying bases that are the same, you just need to take one base and then add your exponents. I just wanna move from this statement. I wanna represent it like this. So that's what I basically did over there. Né? I just separated these two exponents. Okay, now let's move on. I still have 2 to the power 2x minus 2 squared is written as is known that it is 4. Né? Multiplied by 2 to the power x minus 32 is equal to 0. Now, guys, it will be quite simple to move on from here. You can simply factorize if you can see that this is a quadratic equation. If you are still confused, guys, don't worry, I got you. Just simply say let 2 to the x to be equal to k. Are you together? So whenever I come across 2 to the power x, I'll simply substitute it with k. But over here, guys, I have 2 to the power 2x. So that simply means over there, I will have k squared. I will have k squared, né? And then minus 4 times k minus 32 is equal to 0. Whenever I factorize over here, guys, I'm looking for the factors of 32. That's when I subtract will give me 4. And those factors are just 8 and 4. There's a minus sign over there. That simply means my brackets will have different signs. The bigger factor between the two will always take the sign of the middle term. So 8 will take the sign of the middle term. Then I'll have a plus 4 over there. So therefore, k is just equal to 8, or k is equal to a negative 4. But remember, guys, the question said solve x. K was just a tool to help us to reach the solution in a more simplified manner. After finding the value of k, guys, I can therefore replace k with 2 to the x. Remember that they are equal, isn't it? So therefore, I'll simply say 2 to the x is equal to 8, or 2 to the x is equal to negative 4. Over here, guys, there is no solution. There's no solution. Are you together? Why is that? Because there is no value of x that I will substitute that will give me a negative value. Even when, guys, you draw your graph, your original graph, this will be y is equal to 2 to the power x, and negative 4 is just over there. This negative 4 and the graph do not intersect. That's why the roots will be non-real between the two. Né? Okay, let's continue over there. After replacing k rather with 2 to the power x, the next thing I need to do is to simply make sure that my bases are the same. So 2 to the x is equal to 2 to the power 3. Are you together? 8 can be written as 2 to the power 3. Né? And if bases are the same, I can therefore conclude that exponents are equal. So x is just equal to 3. X is just equal to 3, right? Okay, now let's answer the fifth one. Remember that, guys, we are still solving x, né? In the meantime, please do share the video to your peers. Make sure that, guys, they also have an edge too. And please don't forget to subscribe as well. Okay, I'm solving x and I have said, né? I'm given the square root of negative 2x plus 4 minus x is equal to 2. The first thing, guys, I need to do is to make sure that I remove this surd. Are you together? But before I do that, I must start by isolating the surd. That means I must have that surd on one side, and then everything else should be on the other side. On the other side, I'll simply have positive x plus 2. For me to remove sets, guys, I just need to square both sides. Square both sides. Are you together? And then I'll simply have negative 2x plus 4 being equal to x squared plus 4x plus 4. And then now, guys, I just need to make sure that the equation is in standard form. I'll simply have x squared plus 4x. I still have a plus 4 being equal to 0. I want to take these two things to the other side. The negative 2x will change its sign. It will be positive 2x, and the positive 4 will change its sign. It will be negative 4. Now I have everything on one side and 0 on the other side. Okay, if I simplify further, I'll simply have x squared plus 6x is equal to 0. Now I can factorize, guys. Now, remember that, guys, it's quite easy if I do not have a constant term. I just need to take out a common factor. X is common, and then I'll be whenever I take out x from the first term, I'll be left with x. Whenever I take out x on the second term, I'll be left with 6. So therefore, x is equal to 0, or x is equal to a negative 6. After finding these two solutions, guys, please make sure that you do test whether they are valid or not. Are you together? And how can you do that? Just go and substitute each solution at a time. If you find that the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side, therefore that solution is valid. Né? But if the left hand side is not equal to the right hand side, that solution is not valid. Ne? Whenever I substitute 0, I know that the left hand side will be equal to the right hand side. So x is equal to 0 only. Because whenever I substitute -6, the left hand side will not be equal to the right hand side. So the answer is just 0. Okay, and then now I must solve this simultaneous equation. The simultaneous equation, okay, I'm given two equations over here, guys. Let me check whether I copied them correctly. Okay, I did. Okay, I'm given two equations and I must solve simultaneously, guys. I cannot solve two unknowns in one equation. So the first thing I need to do over here, guys, is to simply isolate one variable. And I'll take the first equation. From equation 1, from equation 1, y is equal to 2, not 2 rather, but 3 minus 2x. By doing this, I'm forming the third equation. After forming the third equation now, guys, I can simply say substitute equation 3 in equation 2. And then I'll simply have 3 minus 2x all squared plus x times 3 minus 2x is equal to 2. Remember that, guys, whenever I come across y, I just need to substitute this thing. So on equation 2, I had y squared, and hence this is my y squared, plus xy, there's an x, and there is my y. Remember that's 3 minus 2x is equal to y. So whenever I come across y, I just need to substitute 3 minus 2x. Now, guys, it will be easy for me to solve for x. Why? I only have one unknown variable on my equation. So the first thing I need to do is to simply remove my brackets. So yes, you'll open two brackets and then multiply them out, and you'll end up finding 9 minus 12x plus 4x plus 3x minus 2x squared is equal to 0. It's 9 minus 12x plus 4x squared for the first bracket, and then for the other bracket, x times 3 is positive 3x, x times negative 2, that's negative 2x squared. Okay, and then now let's simplify our right hand side. Let's simplify our right hand side. We have 4x squared minus 2x squared. That will give us a positive 2x squared. And then negative 12x plus 3x is just negative 9x plus 9 is equal to 2. Then 2x squared minus 9x plus 7 is equal to 0. 9 minus 2 is 7, right? So now let us find factors. I'll simply have 2x, x, and then 7 and 1. The sign over there, guys, it's positive. That simply means my brackets should, the brackets rather, should have the same sign, but not just any sign. Always take the sign of the middle term. So I'll have minus and minus over there. So x is just 7 over 2, or x is just equal to 1. After finding x, guys, we must then go back and solve for y. We'll simply say that, okay, when x is equal to 7 over 2, therefore y is just equal to, is it 3 minus 2x? Yeah, there's 3 minus 2x. X is just 7 over 2, right? And then the answer is just equal to 3 minus 7 is just negative 4. So I know that when x is 7 over 2, the corresponding y value has to be negative 4. Then now let's go and deal with the other root. Okay, when x is equal to 1, therefore y is equal to 3 minus 2x. And the answer is just equal to 1. So just write 1 and 1 over there. So that's how, guys, that's how you should have solved that simultaneous equation, yeah? Okay, now let's go and answer the last question. We are told to consider the product over there, and we are told that each factor in the product is a form of is the form of that element over there, né? And we are told that n is any number which is greater than 2. They want us to determine all the values of n for which the product will be an integer. For integers, guys, we know that the denominator should always be 1, né? That's the first requirement of having an integer. It should have a denominator which is equal to 1. Okay, let's see how this folds. Whenever you add these two numbers, guys, inside the fractions, you'll simply have 3 over 2, and then you'll also have 4 over 3, and then this will simply give you 5 over 4. Now, if you can check here, guys, always the time the numerator of the previous term will become the denominator of the following term. Yeah? The numerator will become the denominator. So I will therefore know that my new denominator will be 5, but the new numerator will be 6. Why? Because the numbers are just incrementing by 1. Or just simply say that, guys, whenever you add these fractions over here, the difference between your numerators and the denominators is just 1. So all you need to do is to just add 1 on your numerator and also add 1 on your denominator. This will go on and on until maybe the second last term will simply be, okay, if the last term is just n all over n plus 1, that means the previous term on the numerator we had n, and then we had n minus 1. Are you together? We had n and then n minus 1. So for this thing to be true, guys, if you can check here, the 3 will cancel with the 3. The 4 will cancel with the 4 because everything is multiplied. The 5 will also cancel with the 5. These things will keep on cancelling one another. Are you together? These will keep on cancelling one another. And I'll only be left with n plus 1 all over 2. How can I make this guy to be an integer? This expression over here will be an integer if and only if n is an odd number. Are you together? If n is an odd number, believe me, this expression will always give us an integer. Are you together? But there was something that was stipulated there for us. They said that n is greater or equal to 2. So n is an element of 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 until infinity, guys. Just write down all the odd numbers starting from 3 until infinity. So n will simply represent all of those odd numbers. That's how, guys, you're supposed to tackle this question. I really hope that, guys, the video helped you out. And please, guys, do stay tuned and wait for more videos. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Please do share the video to your peers, guys. Bye. Bye.